Hi everyone, welcome back to Metanoia. My name is Carrie Jane. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of time today to get this video to you, but I figure a short video that is made last minute is better than no video at all. So today I want to talk to you guys about November 2022. And it's a shame that I don't have too much time to talk about this month because it feels very important and there's a lot of, I want to kind of say like anticipation with a lot of people, because a lot of us I can feel and see, and as we all already know, are very stressed right now. As the human story progresses and we see a lot of struggle and a lot of things just continue on as they have been going and not improving. So I think that it's in times like these where we do look more often to things like astrology and numerology to make sense of it all and to navigate through that. And at least that's how I use these tools. And to add to that, that's another reason why this is the perfect time to sign up for my monthly readings through Patreon. The link is in the description. They're $10 a month, and you get your own personal numerologist. So check that out and let me know if you have any questions. But today we're talking about November, the 6th year, the 8th month. And October was a 6 year, 7 month. And it was, if I have to say, quite emotionally and mentally challenging. And I know a lot of people who would agree with me and who feel the same way, that they were very much challenged in many ways. And I think that we see a part 2 to this in November, except rather than this being confronting like the non-material world and those deep layers that I was talking about, it's more like surface level stuff where we see it now. It's now in plain sight. It comes about with our eyes this time, instead of just us feeling it and sensing it and thinking it. So that's kind of scary, because when things create manifestations like that in those deeper layers that we're not always aware of, it can be a little scary. And there's just a lot going on right now. I also real quick want to interject and say that Mars is in retrograde during this time. And for those of you who follow astrology, you know that America has been going through its Pluto return. So we all kind of are just patiently waiting for the empire to crumble. So we're all just patiently waiting, and there's a lot happening within our personal lives and around the world as we do that. And the thing that's interesting about this month in November is that we see this repeating pattern of what happened back in February. So back in February, we had this same number combination. So first piece of advice, think back to what you were doing in February, and now that we're in November, and see if you can remember anything. Another thing about Mars retrograde is that it can often signify war. Not to create fear here, but that's interesting, because we're seeing the same pattern that we saw back in February, and that is when Russia invaded Ukraine. So maybe some situation will manifest finally out of that. That's like an example of how this can look. Or maybe there's new things to follow. We don't really know. But we are navigating this in our own personal lives. So to go back to home, to go back to how we're all dealing with this individually, I would say that this is a great time to not make any rash financial decisions. Like don't spend all your savings in one place unless you absolutely have to, like for an emergency or something like that. Where, as we have been going to see things getting more difficult with our financial institutions, what I would really love to see are those things being legitimately challenged. Unfortunately, things have to get worse to get better here. That's always how it goes. So even though it is kind of a scary time where we have to confront matters of our physical world now, and bring balance to that and harmonize that, even though that is so incredibly difficult, it's so also incredibly necessary. And the other side of that is very bright, if you ask me. So that could be in your personal life, but it may be for the world too. Maybe we will see justice somewhere because 8 is the number of lot. Maybe we will see, I don't know, karma happen because 8 is a very karmic number. That would be great. I wrote here that there is an emphasis on the home with the 6. So perhaps we experience some kind of focus on that in our own individual spaces with our family, and specifically our home environments. But to go deeper, I would say to take care of your health. Take care of your health this month. As with always any month, be very careful about the kinds of things that you're thinking about because it could come true. And just whatever is emotionally fulfilling right now, do that. Take care of yourself in that respect. If there's something that's going to give you an extra boost, like that'll improve your the quality of your life in some way, do that. And maybe it doesn't have to cost, $1,000. Maybe it'll cost like very little money. Maybe just like gas money, or just whatever, or you finally invest in yourself, and that you've needed clothes for a long time, so you get new clothes. This kind of stuff is really good for a time like this. You also vote with your money, though. Just keep that in mind. Oh, and that reminds me, it is election season, so this could be a very revealing month in that way. And yeah, I think any election season with an 8 involved is interesting because it can go this way or it can go that way. Whatever the case, law is involved, karma is involved, and we see things manifest very quickly right now. I also wrote here that we need to make up our mind about where we are, where we need to go, and how we're going to go about doing that. And I say that because 8 is the number of the executive. So we might need to make a lot of choices in our lives right now for whatever reason. Maybe there is a job offer and you need to decide yes or no. Or maybe you didn't get the job offer, so you need to figure out what to do from here on out. Or maybe there is something in your home environment that's really irking you, and finally you do have to actually do something about it. The 8 always asks us to take this executive role in which we are empowered and we actually do the job. And so similar to the 4, that's where we see the 8 exhibit quite a lot of effort. 8 can also be hard work in this way because it is and can be hard work stepping up to the plate, making executive decisions about your life with confidence, based on where you are. So that's that. I'm just going to read through my notes real quick and make sure I actually said everything that I needed to say. But that just about sums it up. Yeah, and this could be a good month for people to get traction with finances and, finding a place to live, making any kind of career change. But also another thing I did forget to mention is gratitude is often the best way to manifest. And we have Thanksgiving this month in America, so if you happen to celebrate that holiday, maybe try to have a really, really good Thanksgiving this year. That reminds me, I did forget to say this. Watch my calendar playlist video where I talk about the numerology of the individual months, and watch that video for November. November is often an important month, and I do mention Thanksgiving, I think, in that video. and it's always good to just check in with like how that month tends to go on top of everything anyway. And I kind of just summed up here that it's possible this month that we see things manifest and shake in a way that we haven't so far. And at least that's kind of how I hope. You know, because next month we're going to be in a month of conclusions. So there's often a long way to go before we get there. We have been challenged very much so this year. What is there to show for it? Have you like acquired the necessary resources to execute the plan? If not, why? Let's be an executive and eliminate that, so on and so forth. This is the kind of month that we're going to have. Put in that work. Please take care of your health. Don't mess with the vessel. It's extremely important right now. Enjoy what you have and what's available to you, whatever that is. Because the 8 is also about abundance and experiencing life in such a way, and as in the finer things, and making sure that we're in that flow while we're here, while we're during this part of the cycle, as we pass through this, to remember to enjoy that meal and to spend time with family and your friends and your community and enjoy that time. Okay, so if you're having a difficult time, you're not alone, and we're all going to get through it. And I really do hope and think that somewhere on the other side of this, as difficult as things are sometimes, it's worth it, and it's really, really good. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Sorry for the strange video. That's not usually what I'm doing. This is just kind of what I had time for. And just thank you so much for watching. If you made it to the end, I'll see you all soon. Take care.